Both of us are losers on this show, but one is very, very happy.
And the plot Malaysia!
Hello, welcome to the Plot Malaysia. This is our 95th episode. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans!
Woohoo! Well, not so woohoo.
That
for me and
woohoo
Hari.
wasn't very
It's-
enthusiastic, Ram.
It was a boohoo, actually, to be honest. I just lost my words there. But to be very honest with you, of course, yes, both me and Hari are not in the most cheerful of moods because both our teams lost over the weekend. But of course, it's something abnormal for Liverpool. It's something very normal for United. So anyway, you know.
Oh, man.
Well, I have to say it's true. It's true. If I don't hurry, well, so let me just say it. But guys, we are not alone. For today's show, we do have two very special guests. Okay, but let me just say this. Okay, we have two very special guests who are twins. Yep, twin brothers, But one is a West Ham United fan, and the other, just like Hari, a Liverpool fan. So let's welcome twin brothers Keshav and Lakshan.
Let's bring the winner on first, you know. And then
Yeah,
we'll bring Lakshan
the
on as
winner, followed by
Hi, guys.
Lakshan. Hi.
Hey, welcome,
Keshav and
welcome, guys.
Lakshan.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well-
My first show, yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
always happy to
Keshav's the
have you
second time,
guys.
so welcome back to the show.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
You guys
And
know
Lakshan,
Keshav, you've seen him before, and now, of course, Lakshan for the first time, but it would not be the last time, Lakshan, and of course, Keshav. So many more to come. So, welcome to the show once again. Today, we are going to discuss two games. So, Hari, take it away and tell us what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to review the two biggest games of the weekend, basically. The two clubs that me and Ram support. Obviously, two devastating defeats, but we'll just get into those games as well. And we've got the right people to dissect the game with, Ram, don't you think? We've got a West Ham fan in Keshav, and then his brother, who actually watched the game together with him and had a sleepless night, from what I understand. Lakshan, who's a hardcore Liverpool fan, contributes with very, very intellectual and very deep knowledge of the game, actually, tactically, and on our shows as well. His comments have been fantastic. So welcome, guys, and we're looking forward to deep diving into those
Hari,
matches.
before you start,
So,
I want to say something before you start.
mm,
At least, I'm glad to see that we have Keshav and Lakshan to dissect the game between West Ham and Liverpool. I just have no mood to dissect the game between United.
no,
Because
that you don't worry, bro.
nothing
That
to
you don't worry.
dissect. There's
That
nothing
you
to
don't worry.
dissect.
That you don't worry. We when we get to that game, the three of us will talk. We'll be on the fence. I mean, we'll be on the Man City side of things. So you'll get your due. You'll get your dues. From three people in a
I may
short
have to
while.
off my camera. I may have to off my camera when that happens. Anyway, go on.
Right, guys. Listen. So we'll start. Let's start with I mean, people may expect us to start with the Man City and Manchester derby, but we're not going to start with the Manchester derby because I think the game that's
God.
fresh, in everyone's mind. The two guests we have today as well. It's a perfect opportunity for the brothers to have a go at each other, and after that, they may not talk. After the show, they may actually not talk for a few days, but that's fine. That's what we do. We pull brothers apart. So, so we've got to start with the game that's obviously fresh in everyone's mind. I think the game of the weekend as well, in terms of entertainment value, in terms of excitement as well. West Ham, Liverpool at no longer Upton Park. The London Stadium. Apparently, it's a soulless stadium, but yesterday it was a bouncing stadium. It sounded very much like Upton Park of old, actually. So yeah, fair dues to this West Ham team, man. That if I've got it right, Keshav. So let's throw this question at you, Keshav. From what I understand, coming into this game, I was actually very nervous coming into this game as a Liverpool fan because I thought this was a really difficult game. I had watched West Ham play a few games. They were very good. They scored a lot of goals, defensively very sound as well. And I saw a stat that even got me more worried, actually. which was the fact that West Ham in the calendar year of 2021 have picked up, I think, the third most Premier League points in the whole calendar year. And we're pretty much at the end of the year, right? So that got me a bit worried as well, because that told me that this is not a team that just started this season, it's just like in a hot burst of form or anything like this. Tells me it's a very consistent team that's been putting in consistent performances across the calendar year. So that got me a bit worried as well. And then, of course, you look at the results recently that you guys have had. I think you beat Aston Villa last week, and then you beat Manchester United in the Cup. You beat Man City in the Cup. You were very close to getting a draw against Man United in the league. You should have got a draw, actually, or beaten them, actually, as well. I thought you guys were outstanding. So very worried coming to the game. But let's turn it to you. Like, what about you? How, approaching this game, how confident were you?
I would say that a few seasons ago, whenever we faced Liverpool, I always felt nervous because under Klopp, we knew how clinical, I would say, Liverpool are, and they are still clinical. And I felt worried because whenever we face Liverpool, Salah is one of the best players to face. And you have players like Trent, Robertson, and Mane and Firmino, all these players who have a good chemistry with each other and can pick pockets inside the spaces to score. And I thought, West Ham have become a very improved side, I think, because once Moyes came in, I think 2 seasons ago, people were saying that, he's a defensive coach. He doesn't show much respect to he gives too much respect to oppositions like Liverpool and Man United. But I think once he's come back for the second time, I think he's shown that he has built a good team. He has built a much more organized team. He has got the team bondness together, and I think that's what has helped us. And I think after once the fans came back, I think it was Project Restart. I think 2 seasons ago, where we were avoided relegation. We picked up momentum from then, and from last season, we still have picked up a momentum until now. So that shows the consistency which we've had. And in this game, I thought, we have a good opportunity, not just from the way we played, but I think from looking at how we could attack Liverpool, because, Liverpool are good from side to side, pass to pass, they're really good. But I think we are thinking we can't go toe-to-toe Liverpool, because once you go and press the ball and all, we are going to leave so much space in behind for Salah and Mane to score. So the only way we could do was through set pieces, which we're very good at. And I thought, we had Zuma there, we had Suchek there, and Ogbonna, really tall and physical defenders which we could get at Liverpool. And I thought that could be a good opportunity for us to really go and attack. And another point I would like to make is that we should also we should counter-attack, and we did that this game. So yes, I would say when I was going into this game, I felt a bit of belief, but I was still nervous with the confidence of Salah and Mane, because when you face Liverpool, they're always going to be clinical. So yeah.
Oh, fair point. I'm going to, before I get to Lakshan as well, Ram, you watched this game as well, right? So, watching this game, I don't know from a neutral point of view how you felt, but watching this game, I thought Moyes was very, very smart, because he's built the team, obviously, like you said, with really good spirit. And what he did was, he said, listen, we're not going to go and play toe-to-toe with Liverpool, because they're going to cut us apart like they did last year. I think he tried it last year. So he said, we're going to defend deep, and we're going to try to hit them on the break and try to win corners, and that's where we're going to exploit Liverpool. And I think Antonio spoke after the game. He spoke really interestingly as well. He said that the backroom staff of West Ham and the team, they plan for those corners to block off Alisson, and then to ensure when the delivery comes in, it's nowhere near Van Dijk. So you bypass Van Dijk, and then you fight in the air, because the rest of them can't really compete in the air. So that was really interesting. That made me think as well that, these guys are targeting Liverpool at something that they have found a weakness in Liverpool as well. And of course, West Ham are really good at set pieces.
Well. It says a lot about Moyes as well, right? It says a lot about him, what he has done.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think he's built the team almost like in the Everton spirit, when he managed Everton for like 7, 8, almost 10 years, 10, 11 years, isn't it? solid,
Yeah.
they've got good players as well. I mean, solid defensively. And then the two holding midfielders are two of the best in the world, right? Suchek and Declan Rice, I think, who's one of the best midfielders in the world, actually. And then I like Fornals a lot because he makes some late runs into the box, and he was very
Oh,
dangerous yesterday.
what a player.
And then
Yeah.
Said Benrahma, I think, is really good because one of the things that I think exposed Liverpool yesterday was the fact that when Liverpool went to press, West Ham have good ball carriers. So they can keep the ball and get past one or two, and then suddenly the spaces open up on the break. And the ball carriers are people like Benrahma who can beat one or two people. Jared Bowen, the same as well. Antonio, I mean, is good pace in behind as well. So I thought that was a tricky one. What about you, Lakshan? What were your thoughts on the game, man? Tell me. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, like I said, I was nervous going to the game, but having watched the game, what were your thoughts about the game? Give us your perspective.
I thought it was a very fragmented start. I mean, especially Alisson got bullied in the air a couple of times. I think he was more focused on pushing Antonio rather than looking at where the ball was going to go.
Yep.
And he had a horrible game, actually, to be honest.
That's the worst. That's officially the worst Alisson game for Liverpool, by the way. Yeah.
I agree.
I've got to say
He
that.
didn't command his box at all, especially for the first goal and third goal. And even the second goal, you could blame him because he went under him and went in. The defense, how I thought the shining light in our defense was Van Dijk. I thought the interceptions.
He was outstanding yesterday. Yeah. If not, it could have been 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. In the first half, I think the 43rd minute, the pass to Bowen, he tackled, and then in the second half, one-on-ones with Bowen and Antonio, he made it look quite simple. Yeah, I think he's back to his best, but Andy Robertson and Trent need a rest. Andy Robertson hasn't been the best this season, and I don't blame him. There's a reason why he has been the best for the last 4 seasons, and there's a reason why we got another left back in to come in and fight for competition against Robertson. And to be fair, Simicas actually, Klopp has to have faith in these players. Otherwise you tested Simicas against Atletico. He played really well.
I mean, not just Atletico. He's played really well in all the games he's played this season. Yeah.
And actually, I think the games that Simicas has started in, we actually have not conceded. So Robertson has come in. I think he's looking jaded. He's looking really tired, and I really don't blame him. Yeah, he's not been the best this season, but so has been Trent, and the midfield has been a little bit off as well.
Fair enough. I mean, I agree with that point. As a Liverpool fan, Robertson is really jaded, actually. I feel he's jaded, and it's not his fault. He's been outstanding for 4 years. He plays almost every game for the club and for his country, Scotland as well, right? And I think now that Simicas is in form, you play him and you give Robinson 3 weeks off, but play Simicas because he's in form. He's got good delivery. He's got great corners as well. So I thought that was a mistake, actually. I expected Simicas to start after the Atletico game, and I was a bit disappointed with that. What do you think is the biggest issue with Liverpool? I want to get your perspective on this because I think that the biggest issue, everyone's saying different things, right? They're saying it's defense, it's Robertson, it's Trent, it's the defenders. They're coming back from long-term injuries as the goalkeeper. I think it's our midfield. So I just want to get your thoughts, Lakshan. Do you think that's where the biggest issue is for Liverpool this year so far?
Yep, it's the midfield for me because the moment where we lost Wijnaldum to PSG, because Wijnaldum is such a good holding midfielder, he holds the ball really well. We needed to get another Wijnaldum basically, because the game yesterday we needed Wijnaldum. We needed him so much to carry the ball, to take control of the game. We missed that a lot, and especially the counter attack for the second goal. I think Mane lost the ball, and we let Bowen run loose basically because there's no one in front of him, and all our defenders were just pushing back, and letting Fornals run in through Matip. So we are losing that type of player, in my opinion. And also, it's the midfield for me. I don't think it's the defense because we have 2 strong centre backs in Matip and Van Dijk, but it's the midfield for me. There's no balance between the midfield and defense. There needs to be a balance. So even though I think Oxlade-Chamberlain didn't have a bad game yesterday, we need that balance in there. And I think Wijnaldum would have provided that.
Fair enough. I mean, I think it's the same, man, Ram. I don't know what about you, but I've been crying out for this all season. We didn't replace Wijnaldum, and you cannot not replace Wijnaldum. Started every game for us in the last 2 or 3 years, pretty much. And the rest of the midfielders, a lot of them are injury prone. Number 2, I think the biggest problem we've had is Ram, and this is not good, right? the most, if they made a list of the most entertaining games of the season so far, Liverpool games would probably be the top 3 or 4, and that's not
Yeah.
good as a Liverpool fan. We rather win games like 2-0, 3-0, shutout, boring. We win it comfortably, which is what we were doing when we won the league. When you're an entertaining game, that means it's to and fro. It's a
You
3-3
can go
with
both
Brentford.
ways. You can go
Yeah, that
both
means
ways. Yeah.
it's like a 3-3 with Brentford. It's a 2-2 with Brighton. It's a 3-2 with West Ham. That means you're conceding lots of goals, conceding lots of chances. And the main thing is you don't have control of the game. And where do you control the game? In the middle of the park. So I think the biggest issue is there's no balance in midfield. So there's no control of midfield. There's no control of the game. And that problem is Wijnaldum. So when people are breaking on us, it's only Fabinho who's left to alone basically to deal with 4 people running at him and running through the middle. When in the past, Wijnaldum used to keep his position. He never used to drive forward too much, keep his position and make sure the ball is won back and recycled really quickly. He's a bit like a bull, right? And I think the biggest issue is not replacing Wijnaldum actually. So that's my issue, and I've been crying out from the beginning of the year. We have to do something about this because you could see this happening. I don't know about you, Lakshan, but I saw this defeat coming.
Yeah.
I saw it against Brentford. You saw it.
I
Against
saw it
Brighton.
too.
Yeah.
You just wanted to see it, my friend, and then you saw it
Oh,
against.
yes.
You saw it against Atletico Madrid in the first game. You saw it against AC Milan in that game when we suddenly conceded 2 goals out of nothing.
Yeah.
There is no control of a game. If you don't have a control of the game, people are gonna hit you on the break, right? So I think that's something we got to fix. Maybe it's Thiago because he's been injury prone. Maybe we fix Thiago in there once he's fit now and he starts controlling and dictating the game. But I think there's a definite need to sign a midfielder in the January window because we don't really have anyone else to do a job there. Anyway, moving on. Let's get the perspective of Ramla as a neutral and Keshav as a West Ham fan, because we can't just make this about Liverpool, man. You guys were outstanding. I've got to say West Ham outstanding. For me, they're contending for a top 4 finish this year because I can't think of any other team for the 4th spot. They're a very consistent team. They're solid as well, Keshav. Do you realistically think you can compete for a Champions League spot this year?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to say I'm positive about it, but I would say, and I'll say this, that we are not going to compete with Liverpool. I would love to say that we will compete with Liverpool, but I don't think that's our meaning. I think we've got to look at the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham, Leicester, and
Manchester
also
United. Don't forget, my
United
friend.
also,
Yeah, don't forget Keshav. Don't forget that.
Yeah, don't forget Manchester
Man
United.
United forgot. Yeah, so I think we shouldn't be looking that far. I'm so happy that the fans are really positive, but I think we have to go at it step by step. I don't want this to be like how if I'm not mistaken, Sheffield United they finished I think 9th or 8th and then they went down, and I don't like that. I like us to be stable, in the top 10 and really just compete for the Europa League places. And after that win against Liverpool, because we haven't won, I don't know how long. I think it's been 5-6 seasons, and every time when we face Liverpool and Liverpool always win, I get really frustrated. And then Lakshan will say, we have to show sportsmanship, right? So I say, good game, all that. But yesterday I felt really happy because Liverpool are a tough side. It's not easy to play against Liverpool. But I thought, once we got the final whistle and we won, I thought this team is actually improved so much from what you saw 4 or 5 years ago. West Ham lazy, inconsistent, very incompetent. Very lazy to get the ball, don't have the passion. And when you see West Ham, they are much more like an Everton, very robust, physical, solid.
Physical
not
side. He signed a lot of big players, very physically big, solid players as well, very tall guys as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if we can continue this, I think we've got Wolves next and Man City, Chelsea, few big teams. And I think that could test us. But if we do compete, and like I said, if we can do it against Liverpool, there's an opportunity to do it against Man City. And I think that second half, which we showed against Liverpool, said we are not a defensive team. I don't want to see my team go and defend for 90 minutes because that's not how we are. And I think it was very smart for Moyes to go and say, let's go and attack. What's the point of playing at a home crowd when 60,000 fans are in the stadium? So I say, let's just go and attack. Doesn't matter if we lose 4-1 and play good football, then I'll take it. But I thought to get at this Liverpool side through set pieces and we did it brilliantly. Yes, I know people may say the foul The Aaron Crosswell challenge, I would say that's a red card. I think it was very unfair.
Yeah.
I think it's a red card because I can see
That's
him
the one on
hitting
Henderson, right? That's the one on
Yeah.
Henderson, right?
Anderson. Yeah.
I was going to
And
get to that. I was going to get to those decisions, right? So
mm,
let me, since you brought it up, let's talk about it, like, and I get Lakshan's point of view on this as well, and Ram point of
You
view on
don't
this
you
as
don't
well.
want my neutral perspective on the game? Hurry,
Ah,
you
yes,
don't.
yes. I wanted as well. So, Keshav, let's ask you this
Whenever Hurry,
honestly.
whenever
Let's ask,
whenever Hurry has the opportunity to silence me, he does it really well. So okay, fine.
so let's ask you this. Let's ask you this, like Keshav. I'm going to go around here, like, but let's start with you. Take your West Ham bias out of it. Do you think the first goal should have stood?
I would say partially yes and no. Okay, let me go to the yes part. I think Allison should have marked this. I think it looked like I think Fornal scored. I think looked like Fornal scored or Allison own goal. But
Oh,
I think
Alisson on goal, yeah.
Allison must have pushed it in his net because from the look
Yep.
of it, it's like Allison or I think it hit Ogbona's hand or something and went in. I'm not sure how it looked, but I think it looked like an Allison own goal. But also the other thing is the reason I say no, it shouldn't have been a goal is that probably Ogbonna hit his I don't know hand or something. That's what I probably would have thought. So, but of course, from a Western point of view, I would have said yes. But I'm sure Liverpool fans would think it's no because I can understand why it's Alisson that's been blocked, right? But yeah.
So, Lakshan, what about you, man? Should that goal have stood?
Nah,
In
never
your
go.
opinion?
Never go.
Mm.
Never go. He got impeded, Allison, and Ogbonna I rose higher than Allison. In blocked Allison's view of where the ball was going to go to. Yes, we defended the set piece horribly, but that shouldn't have stood. Never
What
go.
about you, Ram?
It's a goal. It's not a goal.
There you go. There you go.
100%. I say it was a goal. Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to give I'm going to give perspective on this as well. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. I think Allison should have been stronger. I get that. That's what people are saying, right? Should have been stronger, etc. But at the same time, you're setting a very dangerous precedent if you allow a goal like that. Because I think in the future now,
Yeah.
how do you? This is going to cause a lot of problems, I think, in games going forward because Ogbonna very clearly moves his arm and hits Alisson's right arm when Alisson is going up with the right arm to clear the ball. So because he hits his right arm, Alisson then has to quickly shift and try to go with his left arm, which means he misses the ball and hits it in his own net. So it's obstruction. It's not just obstruction. It's impeding. It's hitting. He's actually hit Alisson in the arm. Now, the other question I'll ask you is, sometimes they say they're overprotecting a goalkeeper. It's not really protecting because if there was a defender behind Ogbonna and not Alisson, and his arm went like that, he would have hit him with his elbow on his face. And that would have been a yellow. That would have been a foul and probably a yellow card or something, and a foul the other way. So
it would have been a red card. So yeah,
exactly. So you look at it from that perspective, that goal shouldn't have stood. I mean, obviously people are saying, we can't be so soft. This is England, etc. But I think you set a very dangerous precedent now. Because that's what clubs are going to do now against all the big clubs, and it's going to be a big issue. How do you maintain consistency with this kind of decisions, right? So that was my point of view on it. Now let's turn it to the other big decision, Keshav. The Aaron Cresswell challenge on Jordan Henderson. I think it was the 8th minute or something. Where do you stand on this? Because this would have changed the game, right? You would have had to play with 10 men for about 82 minutes. So that would completely change the game. What's your perspective on this case? Your red card?
I would say right now it's a red card. I think I can say that clearly because I'm looking at this as a Western fan. I would say it's a red card. I'm not so sure why the referees didn't see that as a red card because I can see
even VAR didn't see that as a red card.
But if it was a red card, I think we have completely lost the game. If it had been a draw, I'll be like very shocked. But yeah, I think that was the changing point, I would have said. But it's a red card because Cresswell clinged on his left, Anderson's left in front of his left leg and also at the back. He hit both.
Actually, it was both, isn't it? He took him out on the knee and then his right leg took him out from behind as well. The other leg. Could have been very dangerous because Henderson's foot was not planted. His foot, I think, it was a bit in the air, but if it was planted, he could have snapped some ligaments with that actually. So again, very weird, man, very awkward, especially because there was I think just a few hours before that game, Mason Holgate was sent off for Everton for a very similar challenge against Tottenham, when VAR looked at him, they sent it off. So again, we're talking about inconsistencies. And for me, that was a clear red card. So, I mean, guys, in the comments as well, leave us your thought. Do you think it was a red card? Do you think it shouldn't? It was not a red card. Just let us know your
This
thoughts
this
as well.
time
What about
this
you,
time
Ram?
I think VAR should get the red card. VAR should get the red card for this. To be honest, show the card. But I just want to make I want to just share as well. Thanks, Bob Spur TV for joining us today.
BC.
Lukman, from of course, Spurs Duration TV. Thanks for joining us as well. BC, thanks for joining us. And to BC, come on, I am a neutral in this game, obviously, because I am a United fan, so I obviously want West Ham United to win. It's fine. But hey, I got to say this. Okay. I mean, watching the game, in my opinion, showed me something that okay, Liverpool went down 3-1. They still had their fight in them to actually get the goal back. Which is something I think we expected to see from Liverpool. And Divock Origi's goal was
Is good.
absolute
What a goal.
class, with his juggling and getting the ball in. So I thought that was brilliant. But as a United fan, I have to say this. I have to say that I really admire West Ham. I really think that they are a team that could challenge for something big. Maybe not this season, but could be in the near seasons to come. Very very happy to see the way they play. And yes, we had Moyes once upon a time.
So is it bring Moyes back, Ram? Are you appealing? Are you making an appeal?
Now we have
starting a
Ole.
petition to bring Moyes back.
No. I'm not going to do all this kind of stuff, Hari. No. I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. But I'm not even going to comment about who's going to be the next manager because it seems that Ole is going to be there forever. So it's going to be like that. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Liverpool still had their fight in them, even though they conceded 3 goals before getting the second goal. So I thought Liverpool still had a fight in them. They could have easily drawn the game. They could have still also won the game. But some players had an off day. It's normal, I guess. But overall, I don't think this loss or defeat to Liverpool is going to change their momentum going forward in the other games. So it's still a good game to watch, good game for the neutrals. So yeah, that's what I thought. As a
and you know what?
neutral
Sadio Mane had a gilt-edged chance at the end, isn't it? That should have gone in. That was a gilt-edged chance that Sadio missed as well. So it could have been 3-3 at the end, which was a bit of a shame. But yeah, a couple of very interesting questions. So, Lakshan, I'll shoot this at you first. Wasn't it the pace in which Antonio was supported that caused you the biggest issues? I think you lack legs in midfield. I think we spoke about this. We do lack legs in midfield, and midfield is our actually biggest issue this year since Gini Wijnaldum has left. We're actually missing him in midfield. But how much would Bobby have helped out today if he was fit by coming deep? What do you think, Lakshan?
Yeah, I completely agree. Firmino would have dropped in really deep into the midfield to help with the passing because I don't think Jota does that at all. Jota loves to stay forward, stay in the penalty box, get those headers in. Firmino is more of a deep lying playmaker, so he will.
And he links play really well. Yep.
He links play really well. Yeah, so I agree with Bob Spur TV on that. The pace in for Antonio, it's supported.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say. Basically, we didn't have the legs in midfield to cope with the midfield runners as well, right? As well as Antonio's pace in there. Actually, I think Antonio wasn't the problem as much. Antonio was good, obviously. It was the runners in midfield. It was Said Benrahma. It was Jared Bowen. The guys who were carrying the ball from midfield. I thought Fornals making those late runs from midfield. Trying to break the offside trap in our high line because we play with the high line as well. So I thought they gave us the biggest problems. And yes, we lack legs in midfield, but I'm going to say something. I don't think Bobby would have made that much of a difference. Bobby's brilliant. He links play well. He drops deep, yes. But last week when we played Brighton, Bobby played. And we still lost 2 goals against Brighton and could have lost that game as well. So I think it's not just Bobby. We lack another strong figure in midfield. We lack a Gini Wijnaldum midfield. I'm going to keep repeating, but someone to support Fabinho in midfield. He can't do it all on his own. Gini Wijnaldum was brilliant at breaking up play. When teams were trying to break on the counter, he would break up play. He was strong. He would win the ball back, keep the ball, hold on to the ball, and then release an easy ball, and then we're on the front foot again. So I think that's essentially what we're missing this season so far. Another great question. I'm going to shoot this back at you as well. LFC is making the same mistakes in defense last season with midfield this season. Kudos to the Hammers. Do you think that's the case, Lakshan? Because again, we didn't replace Gini Wijnaldum. We did not replace Dejan Lovren. And now we've got injury-prone midfielders, and that's why we had about 4 midfielders out for the game yesterday. Do you think we're
Good news
making
to
the
Man
same
United.
mistakes again?
100% agree. We have made the same mistake as last season. This is karma again. We've not learned from this mistake, and it's a real issue. It is really an issue because in the midfield we have the likes of Keita, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, who are very injury prone, and they will get injured maybe 3 times, 4 times a season.
Thiago as well, isn't it? Thiago as well,
Thiago
very
as well,
injury-prone.
yeah. So basically, our 2 fit midfielders are Fabinho and Henderson. And yeah, if you have a chop and change midfield, sometimes it doesn't work because last week we played Keita and then he got injured. Then we brought in Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now Thiago has come in and then Milner is out, and then maybe a few months time Milner comes in, but then Fabinho gets injured. It's a chop and change.
Yeah, it's like the defense last year, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
exactly like that. BC, great point. One loss in like 20 and 25 actually, and all start to worry. Actually, it's not the word. BC, let's put it this way, BC. You support Spurs. You're not really going for the title. We're going for the title, bro. We can't afford to lose more than 3 or 4 games this season. So even one loss makes a difference, my friend.
BC,
Then we have no
BC.
chance to win the bloody title.
BC, why you ask questions like that when you go to Kanna nicely for me, fella?
Yeah, bro.
Why?
We're going for the title. We can't afford any losses, can we, Lakshan? Anyway, let's switch it back to West Ham. West Ham had a brilliant day. Before we move on to the Manchester derby, let's wrap up this game.
Oh, please
Keshav,
don't move on.
Who was the standout player for you yesterday?
I think let me say 2 players. I think Fornals and Bowen. I thought Antonio was a bit poor because I think he couldn't handle Van Dijk's presence and physicality, which I thought was an issue. But Bowen, I'm telling you, I think he might go to Liverpool because I can see Klopp looking at him and saying he might
Klopp
be
is very interested in Bowen. He was in the summer as well. So, yeah, so we never know. But yeah, he's a really good player, man. I like him.
And Fornals is, I like Fornals a lot. I really like him. He's a good player. And I think these players are starting to show a more
Pedigree.
team. They're becoming a team. What do you call it? Team. Having more teamwork. Being
A
able
proper
to.
system, I think.
Yeah, they have a good system, and I think we don't need to, especially against Liverpool. I was thinking we don't need to go and revert to 3 at the back. I think we should have stayed with this lineup because of the confidence we had when we won against Aston Villa. And I think hopefully we can continue the momentum and let's see where we go. Who knows where we'll go, but I'm excited but hopeful that we can try and at least get a Europa League spot again. I'm very happy with that, and let's see how far we go in the Europa League. And happy finally we got a win against Liverpool, and what more can I ask for? Yeah, I know it was
man. His brother bragging rights as well, isn't it? So it's brilliant, bro. And then Simba's got a great point. It's a great point. Declan Rice, man. I thought he was outstanding, bro. I think he's been your standout player, Declan Rice, and also Thomas Suchek. I actually think, and I'm gonna before I ask you this, okay, let's ask you this question first. What's your prediction where West Ham is going to finish? So you've said you're trying to go for the Europa spot. Make a prediction. Put your head on the line. Where is West Ham going to finish the season?
I would say fifth. Fifth, I think. Considering the confidence we have, because I have to say I've never seen this team play like this. Like really go out and attack, because I'm sure you've seen West Ham very defensive. I don't know. I think we lose 5-1 to Arsenal. We lose 4-1, 3-1, left, right, center defensively not good. And I think we've now got Zuma in, which I have to say I'm very happy with him. He's been very good. I think once we've bought Zuma, the defense now is really stable. Defensively, especially in set pieces, he's brilliant at that.
I think you've got 4 good centre halves. I think Craig Dawson is good. Ogbonna is good. I actually like Diop a lot as well. Issa Diop, who I think is on the bench for you guys, right?
Yeah, and very happy. Let's really pleased, and let's see how we progress. But I think I have to give credit to David Moyes, because I think I have to say from my time supporting West Ham, I think he's one of my best managers. I've got to say that because I think he's proven everybody wrong. And there are a lot of fans saying that last season was a fluke because there was COVID and nobody was in the stadium. So that they thought that would help us in terms of getting results. But what we saw today and a few other games that we actually can do with the fans, I thought that was a bit of negative that these fans have said that, but I don't. I think we've disproved it. I think because you can. I think the confidence was brought from last season into this season, and we have shown it also without Lingard. Because I think Lingard
Mm.
helped us last season a lot to push for European spot, but I think
Yep,
this
yep,
season
yep.
we've stepped up another level. So yeah, very pleased with that.
Yeah, we are still
No.
asking Linga to help us. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
Actually, I'm just before we move on to the Manchester derby now, which we will. I'm going to say the only thing that I can say. I mean, fifth would be brilliant, right? For West Ham to finish fifth in the league, man, would be absolutely brilliant. But I think the one thing that could stop you, I mean, people say it's Mikel Antonio if he gets injured because he's injury prone. I don't think it's actually him. I think is the Europa League that you're playing in. The deeper you'll go into the Europa League, the more games you'll have to play Thursdays, Sundays, and you don't really have a deep squad. The one area
won't
where
be
I
able to
think
cope with that.
I don't. At
Match
the one
fixtures,
area
yeah.
where I think West Ham is not deep, or where they cannot afford an injury, is Thomas Suchek and Declan Rice. I think if
Yep.
any one of those two are out for a certain period of time, that team suffers. So it's not anywhere else in the pitch. For me, is these two. If any one of those two get injured or out for a certain period of time or fatigued because of the number of games they're having to play through, I think you guys will take a bit of a plunge down the league because that is such a crucial position. The job that those two do up and down and protecting the defense is unbelievable. So that's the only way where I can actually see you guys actually taking a drop. And I can realistically see it happening because you're in the Europa League. It's very difficult to balance it out with a limited squad as well. But yeah, West Ham to win the league maybe long shot, but you never know, bro. It could be a Leicester year again. It could be a Leicester year
be.
again. Anyway,
Yeah, then
let's move
I
on.
won't have to hear. I won't have to hear anything from Hari. You know, so yeah, I'll go with West Ham in the league. No problem. Go ahead.
Let's move on, man. Last question for you, Lakshan, before we move on the Liverpool front. Would you like to see Divock Origi start the next game?
I know he's a player for clutch moments, but this season he's looking good. So I wouldn't mind starting him against Arsenal. Maybe some holding up the ball up high the pitch. He's actually a very underrated striker.
I think so
He
as well, yeah. And
He's
this season
one-
he's been on form. Every game he's played in the League Cup, he scored. The one game he started in the Champions League in AC Milan, he gave a brilliant
Milan,
assist to Salah as well, didn't he? And he
Yes,
played
exactly.
well as well. And he comes on yesterday and he made a difference, scored a wonder goal as well. So I would reward him actually. I would play him instead of
Yeah.
Jota. Maybe rotate Jota and Mane for a while. And
Mm.
give teams something else to think about with Divock Origi. And he gives you a presence in the air as well.
Yes,
The
I
other
agree.
thing I think Divock could help you is with set pieces, defending set pieces. We are a short team apart from Matip and Van Dijk. Divock has got height; he can come back to defend as well. So it could be something Klopp looks at actually. Let's move on, la. So before we start this section, I thought we just sing a song, la, a very famous song that all opposing fans are singing now. When United, when they play United, all is at the wheel, all is at the wheel. Na, 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 na. All is at the wheel, all is at the wheel.
You guys done? You guys done? You guys
Yes,
done?
yes, yes. Do you like the chant or not?
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
No. Don't
You
sing
want
it
him to
again,
sing?
please.
You want him to stay at the wheel? Like we all want him to stay at the wheel.
Well, I just want the wheel to stay.
So tell us, Ram.
somebody
So
else.
let's start with you before we get a perspective from the other fans here and the other guys in the show. What do you have to say about this, bro? I know it's a nightmare. Every week we bring you on and you have to put a depressed face on and tell us about how the game went. So tell us, how did you think this game went, and what were your thoughts watching the game, man?
I think, in all fairness, Man City showed they are a class above United in all fronts.
Agreed, Kumar. Agreed, by the way. Yeah.
So I mean, I think United just showed that they have the players, but with the tactics, so-called tactics, gameplay, pattern, system, we don't have any. United does not have any system, does not have any pattern of play. There is no link-up play, during the whole game. We did not even have a shot on target in the whole of second half. And you're playing at home at Old Trafford. So needless to say, I think Man City scored two
If
because
not for De Gea, man, it could have been four.
Guardiola probably told them at the dressing room. There was a joke, right? It said that Guardiola said that, hey, keep it at 2-0 because we want Ole to stay.
Yeah.
Don't score more goals. But of course that's a joke. But to be very honest, I think in the second half, what Ole did was to prevent more goals from going in. That was the whole idea. It was not about, and let's go out there, even if we lose another 5-0, but at least go out there and show some fight. I think that was a wrong decision from Ole. To accept defeat when you have 45 more minutes to play, to try and do something. When you have players like Ronaldo, you have players like Fred and McTominay. You've got players like Sancho who came on as well. So I thought in all fairness, City class above the rest. I don't think United stand any chance of winning against the big six. And I think this season is going to be an absolute mauling of a season for us. So I am prepared and I'm ready to come on to the shows, to fight for my team, defend my team. But I know that when we play teams like Watford, coming forward, Watford is going to be a very nervy game. I think for all United fans, we're going into every game thinking that we're going to lose. And if we draw, it's a good result. Okay. If we win, it's a bonus. That's basically how we're going to approach every game because, yeah, that's the way it is.
God
That's the
fight,
way it
ma. CR kicking people and all. Every game, bro. Cristiano
We
Ronaldo
see if
got a lot of fight, bro. I've got to agree with
Yeah.
Simba here, right? Watching this game, I don't know about you, Lakshan and Keshav, but watching this game, it was really boring in the second half. It felt
It
like,
was boring, yeah.
and I was actually feeling bad for United fans because it felt, if I was a fan of that club, of your club, it felt like you were being toyed around with, like literally being toyed around with by Man City. And it must have been embarrassing watching that line, but
It was.
how can he?
It was.
How can he? Let me ask you a very simple question, Aram. I don't think in any profession you can do this, but how can he still be in that job, man? Although I want him to be in that job, how can that man still be in the job after getting hammered by his biggest rival 5-0 at home, and then his second biggest rival 2-0 at home, and then I think he's also. I read a stat: 21% of United's defeats at Old Trafford in the Premier League era have been under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How is that? How can a man stay in a job, bro? Kindly explain.
Did you know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the best manager in the world right now? Didn't you know? I mean, the board seems to think so. It's like, oh, he's the best manager in the world, backing him. And then, the whole board is like, oh, we can't find a perfect replacement. I mean, hey, you can't find a perfect replacement. Are you sure? There's so many managers lined up willing to take the job. Ralph Ragnick, this managers that are willing to come on, on a short-term period to do something, to make changes. And the board is like, no, we're going to stick with Ole until we find a proper solution. Well, the solution is we need to win games, and we're not winning games. And if Ole is still going to be at the wheel, then yeah, I think United are going to have their worst season yet. I don't know where they're going to finish on the table. I don't know where it's going to be, the top half, mid half. I'm being very honest. I'm not trying to insult my team. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to say is the reality of the situation. Played against Liverpool, terrible. Okay, we beat Spurs. We beat a really bad Spurs side. Yeah, BC Spurs was bad, but now Spurs has Antonio Conte. They're going to change. They made a decision. United still the same. Nothing's going to change. And yeah, so I am just praying that we still are in the Premier League next season.
What about this question, Ram, by Kumar? Great question, man. I don't have an answer for this. Maybe you watch them every day, every week. What is MU's identity looking back at their performance this season? In fact, not just this season, last season, the last 3 years. What's your identity, bro? I mean, this is the thing I can't. I'm going to say this. I mean, United fans keep saying this. Oh, we play Fred, McTominay, this, that. These guys, Fred starts for Brazil, even above Fabinho, man. And he's outstanding for Brazil. Sancho was brilliant at Dortmund. I can name so many other players, man. Who else? Who else can we think of? Lindelof is brilliant for Sweden. Luke Shaw had a brilliant year last year, but had a great year had a great time with England as well. is it the players or is it the man? Man, he doesn't give them instruction. There's no pattern of play. I don't see any pattern of play, and
Yeah.
every player seems to not perform when they put on a Man United jersey, and then when they go in for the international football, they perform. So where do you lay the blame? Them? Isn't it clear as day that there's something wrong with the management?
I mean, yes, it's definitely something wrong with the management, but I think, in all fairness, yes, the players who go out on the field, they need to perform no matter what. You are wearing the shirt, you have to perform. But you see, the thing is, when you talk about instructions, Harry, and of course everyone over here, I don't know whether there's any instructions specifically given to any of these players on what to do. I think everyone looks clueless, in my opinion. We talk about, of course, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, fine, fine. But if there's no service given to him, he's not going to score goals. As simple as that. You put Aaron Wan-Bissaka, to come on as a right wing back when he can't even cross the ball. It's as simple as that. Luke Shaw, okay, fine. He's been great. I don't blame him for anything. I think he has really been one of those stand-up players. Not of late, but I think he's the only one that I can see that should remain in that squad. Of players. Of course, David De Gea has saved us so many times. So I think our identity basically has been, let's concede a couple of
Non-identity.
goals. Yeah, let's concede a couple of goals and let's show people how we can fight back. That used to be the mentality, last season and so on and so forth.
Gung
But
ho,
this
gung
season,
ho approach.
yeah, gung ho approach. I think we don't have an identity. To be honest, and I am of course very disappointed. To be saying all this, but yeah, I'm very very. I'm just trying to hold myself back, not to be too angry, of course, not to be too upset, because there's so much going on at the club that I love, and to see this happening in front of my eyes is very devastating. So yeah, I'm just trying to see the positive of it, but there's none so far. So I don't know what to do right
I'd
now.
like to sympathize with you, Ram, but I'm going to be honest. I'm living every minute of it, I know. But let's ask Keshav
That's
and
why
Lakshman,
Hari. That's
guys.
why that's why Hari. Sometimes, I mean, I love you as a brother, but sometimes I really hate you. Anyway, yeah, carry on.
All right, Keshav and Lakshman. I want to ask you. I guess I want to ask you guys a question, right? I think our clubs are quite similar now. Not West Ham, not, but Liverpool, the way we operate, Lakshan, from top down. Klopp has a way of playing, and then the recruitment team and Klopp work together to identify players who can fit in that system and within those tactics, and then they bring those players in. West Ham have developed a similar style, I think, under Moyes. They've got a way of playing, and right now they recruit really well. They recruit players to fit the system, right? That's how they go about bringing in players now as well. That's the way you should approach things. What do you have to say about the Man United way, man? They bring in Sancho for 70-something million. He doesn't play. Now they switch to a 3-5-2 where there's no spot for Sancho. They bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, and bringing him Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't allow Sancho to play, because now with Ronaldo, he can't play alone at the top, so you got to play two at the top. So it seem a very scattergun approach? There's no thinking behind anything. They're bringing a top player called Donny van de Beek. He hasn't played for 2 years.
And you know what? I have to say this.
Apparently, he doesn't have a place in the team, or there's no role for him in the team. Then why did you buy him in the first place? So, Ram, I'm going to come to you on this later, but let me ask Keshav and Lakshan as well. What do you guys think about this approach? Is it sustainable?
No way.
Is it amateurish?
Yeah, amateurish. Yeah, I would say amateurish. They bought
I agree with you.
Sancho. I wish Liverpool had the depth Man United have.
Yeah.
If we had Sancho, if we had Van der Beek, if we had maybe Martial or Fred, we would be a machine. Liverpool would be a machine. I mean, Klopp would make Sancho into wonders. He would have implemented him into that front three already. But I really don't know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing. I can see why he's changed to a 3-5-2. With Spurs, it worked. Against Atalanta, I don't think it worked. And against Man City, it's a very dangerous formation to play. And basically, that was like a training exhibition match in that second half.
That's why he's Ole Gunnar. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, you play that formation, you basically give your fullbacks the license, and they have two of the best fullbacks in Walker and Cancelo. Cancelo had 2 assists in the night as well, right? So it tells you so much.
And I also read this stat on Man United had more shots against David De Gea than they had against Edison, which I found ridiculous. One was the own goal, And the other
Yeah.
one, I think I forgot, somebody shot at David here, but it was one of the Man United players. It was embarrassing, really.
Mm. Mm.
BC, ayyo, I
What
tell
about you,
you, I
Keisha? What do you
can't
think
wait
about the
now to
Man
defend
United
you.
approach, man, and how they're going about things?
Like you said, I think there is no structure. There is no structure. There's no like plan put in place. Like how in a business it needs to be organized from top to bottom. You
There's
need
a
to have
vision,
your
isn't it? There's
staff.
a 2 year, there's a
Mm,
2 year, 3 year, 4 year vision, isn't it?
yeah, like a business. Yeah. So I
Yep.
think in this sense, I don't know who is the recruitment at Man United. Is it Fletcher or Darren Fletcher? Is it? I'm not sure. At
Well, at this point, even I don't
It
know.
doesn't make a difference.
but yeah, I think Sancho. It's a good signing, but it's just that I'm starting to see this that Ole is not. I have to be honest that Ole is a good player for Man United, but not for as a manager for United. He doesn't know how to coach players because when I see Man United, it's like they need to work as a team because I think what I see is they're all individuals.
Yep.
They have
Yep.
all individual talents like Sancho, Van de Beek, Fernandez, Ronaldo. All these
Us
players are
Mason
not a team.
Greenwood, Rashford, yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
They need to be like how they need to be like much more. I think they need to go to the training ground and learn how to build a team, how to work as a team. When you're losing, like how do you mark your man defensively? How do you stop, let's say, Cancelo getting into the spaces? Because when I see mind playing three at the back, it's like they are not good. They are very worried at the back defensively when they play three at the back, and to have wing backs push up, it's like you need the securement at the back in order to go forward into the wings. And I think Ole is I think Ole has to go. I think it's the time, but I don't know why the United board don't want to sack him. I can understand
Keshav,
he's
don't say that. Don't say that. You want him to stay, my friend. Don't say all to go.
let me
It's
put it this
okay.
way.
It's okay. I think we all have accepted. But Ankit, thanks a
Hashtag
lot.
Ollie in.
Thanks a lot for the wishes. Ankit. I can't even lie to Ankit and say we're going to come back strong. I can't do that. Because I don't even know what strong means anymore.
I'm just very
And
quickly gonna address this, right, Mamang? Recruiter, yeah, Leicester have a great recruitment team. You see how they bring in
yep,
players,
we do.
quality players that fit the system. I'm going to mention a couple of other clubs. I think Brighton have a really good recruitment system under Potter now. They bring in the right players for the system, and you see how they work as a team. Brilliant. The other team I'm going to say is Brentford. Brilliant recruitment team,
Mm,
man. Ollie Watkins is from Brentford previously. So it's Said Benrahma. They lost both of them. And who do they bring in? Ivan Toney, Brian Mbomo, for example. And they've got a team running again. So they know how to identify the right players to fit the way they want to play, right? They've got a vision, which Mr. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't have. His only vision is that of 1999 when he comes on as a sub, scores a goal and thinks he's a legend.
but I have to say the only positive thing that I saw at Old Trafford was when Van de Beek was brought in as a sub. The entire crowd was cheering him. So I think that was nice to see because he has been isolated for so long. Made him look as if he had COVID forever, but no, he hasn't. So it's good to see him back on the field. But I do hope that he starts next games. And
Who's that?
I
Who's that?
Van de Beek, Donny Van de Beek.
Van de Beek's never going to start, bro. He's going to start right
Well, well,
back, which is
well, I
basically
hope.
past the white line, where he's warming up.
Well,
Guys,
I do hope, I can hope.
really quick question, Bob, man. Brilliant question, I thought. So this is not for Ram, yeah. He's clearly mentioned not for Ram to answer. Surely the United fans are looking back and wish they had gone for Conte now. What a big blunder by them, isn't it, Keshav and Rakshan? By not sacking Ole and getting Conte. Conte is now gone to Spurs. Do you think United messed up big time?
Yeah, really, they messed up big time. I think Man United would have wanted to lose to Spurs and get Conte rather than Spurs
El
winning against
Sakiko, wasn't it?
United.
El Sakiko, they call that game. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
Spurs
Spurs,
made
I
a
mean,
bold move. They
I
really
think I
did.
think if United got Nuno, I think it would still be better than Ole. So still think.
Now, I mean, I think they made a big blunder as well. I agreed, man, because I
Mm.
think Spurs have got a great manager in Conte in now as well. So,
Yeah.
so that's going to be
And
interesting.
I heard from, I think it was some news on social media saying Conte actually works with not mistaken nutritionists at Spurs and to see what diets they do and what food they eat. So and also he wants his players to run a lot, I heard, and really
He
make
was late. He was 1 hour late for
1
his
hour
press
late,
conference
yeah.
because he was giving them extra training. I mean, you
Mm.
can see that guy is going to make a difference at Spurs, right?
These
So
small
I
things
think
actually make a big difference for them. So I
Yeah.
think,
I
yeah,
I genuine.
Yep.
Ole is planning for the Van de Beek to be a good player for the next manager, possibly, but the next manager may only come in 5 years. The way things are going there, so we'll see. I've got
you
to
see.
show
Look at
this.
how
I've got
Harry
to
is
show
having
this
so
in
much of fun here.
every episode. We've got to show this. Cristiano Ronaldo is literally saving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Sometimes it's Ronaldo, sometimes it's David De Gea, but yeah, the show goes on. Like the soap opera goes on at Old Trafford.
Harry, can I ask you a question?
Hmm.
Why you keep saying the same thing? Otherwise, I'll be immune to it already, bro. Don't lie, bro. Otherwise, I'll be too immune to it already. I'm like, "Yeah, nothing, you know."
I mean, yeah, I mean, great point, right? By Eugene. Spurs fan had to shout Levi out in the stadium, and that's what resulted in him taking the action and sacking Nuno, right? Maybe Man United fans have to do the same thing. But who do you say? Who do you want out? I mean, isn't Ed Woodward leaving anyway? So a bit
Yeah, he's
tricky, like
leaving.
that
He's
one.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed
So
Woodward is leaving. All United fans have to do is just don't occupy the stadiums. I
uh,
mean, to be honest, right? There is a protest coming up on the 13th of November. I don't know if you heard about this, but
yeah.
the United fans are trying to go on the same protest as they did last time on the
Mm.
13th of November during the international break. And that's what they said. Of course, if they do that, I still support them because they are going with a mission. But I think the bigger thing they should do is just don't occupy the stadiums. Don't be there. I think it sends a big enough message, for something to be done.
I
That's what
agree,
I feel.
man. And yeah, BC, you got a great point. Everyone brings a nutritionist in. I don't know if Ole has done that, but yeah, but that's what a lot of managers. Liverpool have a nutritionist as well. I think they brought her or him in from Bayern Munich, if I'm not
Yep.
I
mistaken.
mean, they brought in a
Um,
nutritionalist. Cristiano Ronaldo is their nutritionalist. Didn't hear that? Didn't
yeah,
take
he's
research.
also their coach. He's also their
So
coach from the
yeah,
sidelines.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen that.
He's the everything.
Ronaldo is a man of many trades. That's what he was brought in for. Yeah.
This is the thing, right? This is my point of view as well, Ram. And I don't know about you guys, but Ole is into short-term results. If you have a plan, you have a vision, like Jurgen Klopp, like Graham Potter, like a lot of these managers when they came in, Pep Guardiola as well. What you do is you've got a way of playing. You identify players who can play in that system, the ones who can't, the weaklings in that system who can't work. You then ship them out in the next windows, and you bring in players who can fit the system.
Yeah.
So it's basically short-term loss for long-term gain, right? You
Yeah.
might lose a few games along the way, but this is how we're going to play, guys. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is how we play. This is how we do things. And then you gain in the long term, right? In United's case, it's very
But
scattergun approach.
Your point was, system playing football. At the moment, United are not playing football. Okay,
Yep.
I don't know what game they're playing, what sport they're playing, but they're not playing football because it is not. It is not. They don't know whether they are a counter-attacking team. They don't know, if they can keep possession. They don't have the confidence to do it. They don't know if they can actually play high press. So there's no identity as you brought on earlier. So I'm even clueless now. Everyone is looking for the January transfer window, right? Who's the new players coming into all these clubs. I am not looking forward to the January transfer window because, to me, bringing in Sancho and Van de Beek, you're going to spoil their careers. Van de Beek is not selected for the Holland squad. Neither is Sancho for the England squad. Simple as that. They're destroying careers, players like this. Now we need a central defensive midfielder. Are they even going to get any to even think of or consider a move to United if Ole is still a manager? So I'm not really looking for the January transfer window, and I think these players, some of them are just going to leave in January. Pogba, namely, I think he's going to leave. It's going to be a huge miss for us, for sure.
Anyway, guys, it's been brilliant talking about the game.
Yep.
Like I said, good watching that. But then obviously, I was hoping Liverpool won. They didn't as well. Liverpool have got their own issues to address. Election in the international break, as I think, as we all know. But yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about Man City, but to be honest, I think it was easy. So nothing really to talk about them. They did their job, didn't they? They went about, did their job. Keshav, how good were Man City?
Very good, really clinical. But I can say that I can say that the differences when we see Man City and Liverpool, Man City are very lucky to say that they can be able to spend the money. They have got
They've
the
got
money to
squad
buy.
depth. They've got
Not
squad
just
depth, isn't it?
yeah. Hmm.
So they can rotate.
And,
They've got squad depth, but even then, you see the league how difficult it is this season. Even then, they have lost 2 games already this season. They lost to Palace last week
Yep.
at home, isn't it? So I
At
think it's a
home,
very
yeah,
very
yeah.
tight league, very tight league, man, this year. So it can happen to any team. I think Man City is still missing a number 9, isn't it? A proper number 9,
Yeah.
which basically is
Yeah.
going to cost them. But anyway, guys, been fabulous having you guys on the show. Keshav, West Ham, man. What's the famous chant you guys have, blowing the bubbles or something? Is it keep blowing those bubbles, man? You guys
Blowing
are flying.
bubbles, something. Yeah. I heard that
Yeah.
song
So I
before.
mean, keep going, bro. Keep smashing it. I think you guys will do really well. And yeah, congratulations, man. As much as it hurts me saying congratulations, Lakshan, hard luck, bro. But don't worry, man. You'll never walk alone, bro. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be
Yeah,
back
don't worry.
after the international break. Normally, when we lose a game, we come back really strong.
And we want to
Uh,
have both of you back again sometime soon, of course, in the near future. Talk more about upcoming games and so on and so forth. So, yeah, really fun having you guys on. And I think both of you all, with your insights that you've brought in, really a breath of fresh air, and really look forward to having you on again. Absolutely
yeah,
brilliant.
guys. Before that, this is a great point. Liverpool should buy one of City midfielder, but so pricey. FSG cannot. I mean, yeah, great point. I don't want us to buy a City midfielder, to be honest. I just want us to get a midfielder. So the player I would look at, I don't know about you, Lakshan, but I like Bissouma from Brighton.
Yep.
I think he would be brilliant. He's like a Genie Wijnaldum for me. I would
Yep,
like him
I
if
agree.
we can get him. Or if we can get even Frank Kessie from AC Milan, who may be a good buy as well. Someone like that, someone who can come in, add a bit of steel in the midfield, who can do a bit of
Yeah.
the number 8 job up and down. That's what I would look for. Ram, we've got a question for you before we sign off, man. Kumar wants to know, need to impose a player wage cut. Will that work, Ram?
I don't think so. I think that's never ever going to happen.
I think it's
So,
too late to come back, isn't it? Once you already start paying players 500,000, 600,000 pounds, how do you take all that back again and introduce a wage cut?
No, it's just going to be a domino effect, and a lot of worse things is going to happen. So I don't think it's possible. But good point. Good point. If we did start this earlier, maybe would have been possible. But now, no.
Yes.
Definitely
Bissouma is on bail currently, and we know he has
Yeah.
troubles, but he's a quality player, man. If he gets out,
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
a top player, dude. I would love him with the
Yep.
club. Guys, before we sign off, I just thought let's go through very quickly the results of the weekend. There were some great games. Southampton won, Aston Villa 0. Southampton picking up from wins now. Of course, the Merseyside derby, which we spoke about. Brentford lost at home to Norwich. And this was classic, right? Norwich pick up their first win of the season, and then they sacked their manager right after that.
Yeah.
That was so Daniel Farker has left the club. He lost his job. Brentford lost at home. Chelsea drew 1-1. So Chelsea dropped 2 points as well against Burnley. That's why I say the league is really tough, man. Chelsea
That was
have,
a real consolation for me, man. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Lukaku injured, Werner injured, and Chelsea were not finishing their chances. I think they had lots of chances, didn't score. Crystal Palace, by the way, this team is doing great under
Patrick
Patrick
Vieira.
Vieira.
Love
Patrick
to look at
Vieira
it.
is a top manager. Ram, maybe you look at Patrick Vieira, my friend, but he's an absolute gem of a manager, this guy. And they're playing some really good football. Liverpool played them. We beat them 3-0, but they gave us a lot of trouble. I remember their football was brilliant. And I like Conor Gallagher for them, who's a Chelsea player on loan,
Yeah.
isn't it? He's really good. He scored a great goal against City last week as well. Brighton won, Newcastle won. Newcastle could have won that late on. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Brighton keeper made a
Yeah,
last-ditch
so,
challenge and got red carded in stoppage time to stop the goal. And then Arsenal, great form, unbeaten in 10, I think now, man. And
Arsenal
guess
had
what?
2 goals they missed. Yeah, 2 goals they
Yeah.
missed.
Yeah, but they're unbeaten in 10 games now, winning a lot of games. And
Yep.
guess what? Liverpool are playing them
Yeah.
next, man. So it's going to be
Next.
another difficult game for Liverpool at home.
You're really bad when Arsenal goes above you. You know you're really bad when Arsenal goes
and they're
above
only
you.
and they're only 2 points behind us, bro. I think they're above United already, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 points clear.
Everton 0, Spurs 0. Well, Conte's first Premier League game in charge. I think they had 0 shots on target, but you could see he's trying to make his imprint on the team already.
Yeah, so
It'll be
clean
quite
sheet.
interesting.
So yeah.
Yeah, clean sheet,
Yep.
defensively sound, which is a step forward for Spurs. Leeds 1, Leicester 1. It ended up in a draw. And then obviously West Ham, Mr. Keshav, blew a lot of bubbles in the air and picked up a 3-2 win, against Liverpool. But don't worry, we'll be back and we'll teach you how to play football when you come back to Anfield, my friend. But anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys, having you on the show. We want to have you guys again very, very soon, maybe previewing a game or reviewing one of the games in the future. Ram, over to you, buddy.
Right, Keshav and Lakshan, absolute pleasure having you. I'm so sorry to hear me rant about United going on and on, but I feel a lot better now. Definitely, I feel a lot better now. They're getting things off my
You
chest.
feel a lot better for a few days, then you watch United play again, bro. So same thing. You just rinse and repeat, basically.
Yeah, you could be right. You could be right, but I'm confident they will beat Watford after the international break. So anyway, before I sign off, Hari, I just wanted to throw a question to all our viewers out there. I just want to throw a question. What do you think of Arsene Wenger as Man United's interim manager? Hold that thought, guys. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments,
like to
guys.
hear-
Subscribe
Yep.
subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification as well, so you kept updated on our future live shows as well.
Yep.
Yeah, leave your comments, man. Let us know. And let us know, what do you think Liverpool's issue is as well? I'd like to know from guys as well, man, because is it the midfield? Is that why we're conceding goals? So yeah, how do we plug the gap, basically? Because that's holding us back, I think. And Liverpool have actually changed their tactics this season as well, which may be contributing to that. But is our midfield getting bypassed too easily? So let us know in the comments as well, guys.
All right, great, fantastic. Once again, guys, absolute pleasure having you guys on. See you real soon. So signing off from the plot, Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans!
By the
All is
fans.
at the wheel, all is at the wheel. Na, 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 na. All is at the wheel, all is at the wheel. Okay, come back
Done?
on now. Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers,
See you.
guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you
Guys.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.